What's up, guys? Proper Truth here. So today what you guys are going to be getting is actually a deck profile of my Diabolos deck. Now, everybody's actually playing this. Like, I've seen people use it as an engine. Me personally, I like the pure build for right now until we figure out what I can go with this deck. Like, right now I have another a Diabolos deck, but it's just like Diabolos Kaijus. Like, just in case you get rid of my Lair of Darkness field spell, I got the Kaijus to get rid of your shit. So I like that build as well, but you guys won't be getting that today. You guys will be getting the pure version of it. I understand there's an Infernoid build out there that everybody is actually trying out. I've tried it. It's like a hit or miss with that deck. If you don't have Decatron or Void Feast, you're pretty much screwed after that, because you can brick really bad, including the 60 card version. The 40 card version, it bricks even harder because you're getting so many big monsters in your hand. And again, if you don't have Decatron or Void Feast, you're screwed. So, enough said. Let's get straight to the deck profile. But before we do, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, show some love to Team Truth and to the channel by hitting that subscribe button and that notification button as well. You guys ready? Let's go. Alright guys, let's get straight to the profile. So, first up, I'm playing, obviously, the head boss, 3 Diabolos. Now, this guy is amazing, can be targeted by card effects, your opponent cannot tribute him, and he plucks cards out of your opponent's hand by tributing a dark monster on the field. And it's just insane. And if a dark monster is tributed on your side of the field, you special summon from the hand or graveyard. There's so many ways to summon this guy. It's not even funny. You can even tribute 2 monsters while there's Lair on the board to summon him. And at the end phase, you get 2 tokens because you tribute 2 monsters from him. He's level 8, which means he's trading bait. You can also search him with Melody. Melody of the Awakening Dragon, I think it's called. The cards that pretty much what Blue Eyes, all the cards that Blue Eyes pretty much use, or some of them, you can use for Diabolos. He's a great. I'm glad. Like, this is one of the best structure decks that Konami has ever given us. I really like this guy. Next up, this is actually the heart of the deck. Diabolos is the soul. This is the heart. This girl is what gives you the plays, and that's Lilith, Lady of the Lament. She is awesome. Basically, during either player's turn, it's a quick effect. You contribute a dark monster, and you can actually reveal 3 normal traps from your deck, and then your opponent has to randomly select one, and it goes straight face down, so they can't ash it. And the other 2 get shuffled right back into the deck. Now you have Lair on board. Obviously, you guys pretty much should know already. If you have Lair on board, you contribute your opponent's monster, apply her effect. Remember, everything here, tribute is a cost. No matter what it is, tributing is always a cost. Even if her effect is negated, you can still tribute her. However, you won't be able to apply her effect. But you can trigger off the Diabolos off of her because of her cost. So definitely 3 Liliths. Next up, 3 Arima. Arima is pretty much your upstart goblin or your Rhoda. Either or, he's your searcher or your draw power. I was running upstart in here, and I took upstart out simply because this is your upstart. It's also eroded by just discarding out the grave, searching for a Lair of Darkness, and it's also another Rhoda by tributing another dark monster other than himself, and you can actually either draw or search for a dark monster with 2,000 or more defense from your deck. So he has pretty much 2 Rhoda effects, which is awesome, depending how you use it. But regardless, no matter what, the effect will always be like an upstart goblin. Doesn't matter which effect you use. So that's why I took out upstart goblin. So definitely you gotta run 3 of him. He's amazing card, amazing card. 3 effects in 1. It's insane. Next up, I play the 1 Duke. I play 1 Duke Shade because it is the Kaiju. It's the dark layer Kaiju, if you want to call it. Basically, you contribute any number of dark monsters, a special summon from your hand, and for each dark monster that you tributed, he gains 500 attack. And if he's normal special summon, you can actually target a level 5 or higher dark monster in your graveyard and add to your hand. So he's a reinforcement to the army, which you can't go wrong with that as well. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you add Diabolos back from the graveyard to your hand, because you can still trigger his effect from the hand or graveyard. So it really doesn't matter. But sometimes it does. Sometimes it depends on the situation. It can really matter. Like, if your opponent's trying to get rid of Diabolos out of the grave, you can add him right back to the hand instead. So definitely 1. He clears out your opponent's board. If he can tribute a monster if you have Lair on board on your opponent's side. So that's pretty much it for the layer family. Next up, I play one tour guide. Now tour guide, I feel like it's a must in here because tour guide can bring out either Skarm, Farfa, or even just Lilith. And remember, even though you bringing out, if you bring out Lilith, yeah, Lilith's effect is negated. But remember, like I said before, guys, tribute's cost, so you can tribute, and then you can apply if you have Diabolos in the hand on the graveyard, you can pretty much trigger it, and it'll go straight into, just bring it right out onto the board. So I really like tour guide. I feel like it's a must in every Diabolos deck. So definitely one tour guide. Next up, the one Destrudo. Destrudo's really good. It's a dark target. It's also a big defense. It's a tuner, so you can either sync with it, link with it. You can use him for Full Force Virus, because Full Force says you need what, 25 or 2,000 more. Whatchamacallit? You need 2,000 or more defense to tribute. So you can actually just bring him right out of the grave if you have another monster on board, or bring him out of the hand, set Full Force, and then there goes your target for Full Force. So he's really good. I feel like you have to play him as well. Next up, two Armageddon Knights. It's your Foolish Burial. I may drop him down to 1. Like, I've been playing him a lot lately, and I feel like, you know what it is? I'm trying to reduce my normal summon in here. My normal summon should only be Lilith, to be honest, and either Lilith or tour guide, and I'm trying to like reduce that because sometimes this can be a dead draw. Now it's not a dead draw if you have a lore in the hand and you can actually banish them out of your hand to get the +2, but I don't know. I'm still trying him at 2. I'm gonna give him a chance still at 2, but if I see that there's nothing really changing, I'm gonna go down to 1, guys. Remember, he's your Foolish. It's not once per turn, so you bring him back out of the grave, you can do it that same turn again, Foolish something else. Next up, I feel like this card is like so essential in this deck. Like, you have to play Blackwing Steam the Cloak. You have to. He's the moment he leaves the board, you can summon a level 1 token onto your field, and if Steam Cloak is in the graveyard, you contribute 1 monster to special summon him out of the graveyard. The only downside, you can only do it once per duel. Now it's cool because if you bring him back without even using his effect, and you get him out into the graveyard again, you get another token. The token is not once per duel. It's the bring him back out of the graveyard is once per duel. On top of that, he's a tuner, level 3. You can't go wrong with this. You need to play at least. You have to play 1. You have to. Next up, the one Skarm. I'm playing Skarm. I see some people play Farfa. I think Omega's playing Farfa. Skarm is just good because it's your road at the end phase. So you're gonna look for Lilith. Like, even if you Foolish Burial him, you can look for either Lilith or you can look for Tour Guide. One way or another, it's a road at the end phase. So I feel you should be playing one Skarm as well. And then off to the hand traps. I'm playing 2 Ashes and 2 Ghost Ogres. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I may want to actually drop the hand traps. It's good. Don't get me wrong. Like, hand traps are freaking awesome because you're slowing your opponent down. You know, you're stopping your opponent from a lot of things, especially when you're doing mirror matches. You want to see the Ghost Ogre because of the fact that Ghost Ogre would get rid of the Lair of Darkness at the end phase when the effect triggers. So it's pretty good. Like, that's why I said I feel like you should be seeing Ghost Ogre sometimes, and most of the time in mirror matches. Other than that, it slows down the synergy. Like, I feel like this deck has so much synergy that putting hand traps in sometimes can slow it down. So I may actually side deck them. I'm not too sure. I know Omega took out his hand traps because it was actually he was losing synergy, and he was like, no, I'm just gonna side deck them. However, I'm still maining 2 of each to keep trying out. If worst comes to worst, I will take them out. So that's pretty much it for the monsters, guys. I believe it is 20 monsters. I believe it is. I will have to count again. But off to the spells. The freaking craziness. Lair of Darkness. You have to play 3 of these bad boys. This is what changes pretty much the entire game. If your opponent cannot get this off board, you pretty much have a lot of ways to get through your opponent and actually winning that duel. So 3 Lair of Darkness, basically all face-up monsters on the board become dark, and once per turn, if you was to tribute a monster, while you control it, you can tribute 1 dark monster your opponent controls, even though it's not your monster, you can tribute your opponent regardless. And then during the end phase, you can special summon as many tokens, which is I think, yeah, level 3s and 1000 attack, 1000 defense as possible, up to the number of tributed monsters this turn. So broken. But this card is what changes. This card is what makes this deck even possible of even playing, to be honest. Definitely 3 layers. Next up, I'm playing 3 Called by the Grave, or I used to call it Cradle to the Grave, just like the movie from DMX and Jet Li. But Called by the Grave, this card is so annoying. I was playing against GG, and I kept hitting his Brio with this. Like, I had to make sure I hit his Nekroz Brio. This card slows down a lot of things, especially in mirror matches when you're playing against Diabolos and you want to get rid of that Diabolos or get rid of their Lilith. This is the card to play it with. So far, I'm playing 3. Your preference on this, guys, you guys can play 2. I've seen people play 2. Next up, 2 shrines. You have 4 dragons in here, 3 Diabolos and a Destrudo. You want to dump them in there. If you can get, especially Destrudo, if you can get Destrudo in the grave, there's a lot of things you can do with this. And the only reason why I'm playing 2 is I've seen people play 1. I play 2 because I want to see it, and it's a foolish, like, you can't go wrong with a foolish burial. 1 terraforming. The reason why I'm playing 1 terraforming is because you have a Rima that can search Lair of Darkness as well. Lair of Darkness is what's the main key, like I just told you. You have to have it in the hand for you to even go off. So I play the 1 terraforming and then the 3 Rima to search the Lair of Darkness. You can put 3, you could put 2 if you want. So far 1 is alright with me. 1 Lair of Darkness. A lot of people are like questioning about this with me and my locals, was because they're like, why 1 Allure? Allure is great. It's a great card, but I do not want to always banish everything that I draw into. Like, it's hard sometimes. Like yesterday when I was going up against GG, I had to banish Destrudo twice in both games, and I did not want to do that, but I was forced to in order for me to play the game, continue playing the game. So I was like, you know what, 1 is fine. Great draw power. Then the last 2 cards, Monster Reborn and Foolish Burial. Monster Reborn, obviously you guys already know, bring back a monster either player's turn, either player's graveyard. And then Foolish, because it's foolish. You could Foolish Skarm, you could Foolish Diabolos, you could Foolish Destrudo. You have so many targets to Foolish. It's not, you can even Foolish Steam Cloak to just get the token. So it's hilarious. It's really cool. There's times when I've actually Foolished Lilith, just because I wanted to activate back to the front to get her out on the board. So you can pretty much Foolish anything as long as it's benefiting you. Off to the traps. The viruses. I'm playing 1 Crush Card Virus, 1 Eradicator. I love this card. This also destroyed GG with his Nekroz, because all they do is play spells. Also destroyed Omega when I went up against him in a mirror match, because it gets rid of his spells such as his layers, his trade-ins, his melodies, all that stuff. Deck Devastation Virus and Full Force Virus. These are pretty much your viruses, guys, that you're using. A lot of people don't like Crush Card Virus because of its new errata effect. I love Crush Card. I don't care what anybody says. Crush Card will always be Crush Card. Like, you're still getting rid of your opponent's monsters. Sure, they don't take damage that turn, but you know what? You're still getting rid of their resources. Now, in mirror matches, guys, side this all out. I'm gonna be honest with you. Side this all out, because you don't want to give them any tokens from layers. You don't want to benefit them. Like, if you hit them with the Crush card and they be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna send 3 Diabolos, I'm gonna send whatever to the grave now. You get what I'm saying? You definitely side these out. I'm learning that the hard way. So those are the viruses. Sorry about my people outside screaming. Next up, 2 Torrentials and 2 Back to the Fronts. I want to be honest. I want to put this to 3 and I want to put this to 3. I just don't know what to take out. I have to figure it out. But Torrential, because of board wipes, this affects a lot of things in the format. And Torrential is just, it's torrential. You guys already know. Especially in mirror matches, when they clear your board and they're like, okay, cool, we cleared your board. Now guess what? I'm clearing yours. After I clear yours, I'm bringing my stuff back. And it really works. Like, I love Back to the Front. It's not once per turn. So if you have 2, you can activate it. Torrential is not once per turn. These are cards that are not once per turn that you can actually flood the board with. So, destroy the board, I'm sorry. So there you guys have it. That was 40. So obviously you need your tokens. You can use, I'm using my Yusaku tokens. But next up, first up is Decode Talker. Now I'll be honest, I was playing 2 Decode Talkers. I was playing 2 of them was because of the fact that it's Decode Talker and he tributes. He freaking tributes. He's an awesome card. So I was trying out 2 Decode Talkers, but then I took out 1 and just said, you know what, I'm gonna. So definitely 1 Decode, 1 Boar Load, 1 Sarija, 1 of whatchamacallit, Master King Archfiend. I know he's in JP. I have the English one right here. The only problem is I like him because he's super. So Master King Archfiend, 1 Link Karibo, and 1 Link Spider. Again, if once I find room to put another Link Spider, I'll probably either take out Decode Talker or I'll take out something else and to fit the second Link Spider. For the Synchro lineups, 1 Moonlight, Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon, and then 1 Dark Strike Fighter. Dark Strike Fighter is nuts in here. Like, you burning your opponent, and then you're getting a free Diabolos onto the board, which makes it so insane. So I really like it. You gotta play him. You have to play him, guys. If you guys have him, throw him in there immediately. For the Exceeds, Super Quantum Mecham Beast Grand Pulse. I'm playing him. I also want to fit Break Sword in it, but for right now, I gotta find room for it. But the only reason why I'm playing Grand Pulse is because he's a back row killer. He also mirror matches. You're clearing out a Lair of Darkness. You're clearing out the back row, so you have to be careful with back row. Any deck pretty much loses to back row, but this does hurt. We can't recover if we lose to back row. It's very hard for us to recover. So definitely Grand Pulse in my opinion. 1 Utopia, 1 Utopia the Lightning, 1 Full Armor Photon Dragon, and then 1 Galaxy Eye Cypher Blade Dragon. This to me is a decent ratio for the rank 8 Exceeds because of the fact that we do summon Diabolos like we lost our mind. Like, Diabolos is definitely not hard to summon in here, especially if you can get 2 on board. This is your Trident. This is your other Trident. So you're popping a card on board, popping another card. Popping a monster or popping a card, is it? Yeah, you pop a face-up card, and this one's just pop a card on board. So you really can't go wrong with anything that's destroying on the board. So that's my opinion on the rank 8 Exceeds. The Exceed lineup. Alright guys, side deck. I played 2 cherries. 2 cherries because I would like to hit cards like Boar Load and Sarija and Decode. Those are cards that you really want to hit. Mirror matches, you definitely want to hit those. You definitely want to hit those, or you can definitely hit the Black Rose or the Ancient Fairy or even the Dark Strike Fighter. But the main things you want to hit is mainly these guys. So that's why I don't mind losing some of my extra deck just to make sure my opponent doesn't get to play. I would like to put ABC Buster Dragon, but again, extra deck is tight. Next up, 2 Eater of the Millions. At the start of the damage step, if he's battling a monster, you can banish that monster face down. So it doesn't, getting rid of big monsters is very helpful in here. So that's why I was like, you know, let me try Eat a Million. So far, no complaining. 1 Drone Lockbird. I may put another one. I don't know. Simply because Pendulum Magician is still a thing for now. If you're going up against a Diabolos that actually plays the melodies or play the the trade-ins and all that, the draw engine, that stops them, that slows them down. So that's why I'm playing. I decided to side deck Draw Lockbird. Next up, the Raiden, multi-dimensional kaiju. He's a dark target. He can also tribute your opponent's stuff as well to summon him on the board. So if you need to tribute something and summon this on your opponent's turn while Layer's on board, you can activate one of your viruses that meets the requirements of the attack to tribute, and then go off from there. You can get rid of something that's a threat to you. He's a lore bait, so really can't go wrong with that. Next up, Raigeki. It's a board wipe. You know, if I lose game 1, I'm going second. I would like to see Raigeki. Same thing with the kaiju. Shared ride. I'm sorry, I pronounced that way wrong. Shared ride because a lot of people are adding cards from their deck or graveyard to their hand, And for the moment they do that, you activate it, and every time they add a card to their hand, pretty much, you're drawing a card. So this is pretty much your replacement for Max C. So that's the reason why I threw it in there, because this deck has problems with, I don't have the draw power in it other than a lore, and so I have a little bit of searching into it. So this is pretty much my answers to just, if I'm going up against like Pendulum Magicians or Nekroz for an example, anything that's special summoning a lot, searching a lot, this is giving me my draw power. Then off to the traps. Two Horn of Heavens, great card when layers on board. You're clearing basically 2 monsters on board, so it becomes an issue for your opponent. Mirror Force, because we don't really end up with heavy boards like that unless we're really going off and we have that hand. And if we don't, like for an example, yesterday I ended up with just a Diabolos on board, but then I was able to set this and clear the board, clear my opponent from attacking me. So Mirror Force is Mirror Force. It's the same thing like for Torrential or Raigeki. It's just a board wipe. And then one Grinding Grave Virus and then one Dark Light. Grinding Grave Virus is a sleeper card, guys. Like, first of all, you're tributing a monster with 3,000 less attack. Your opponent has to discard cards from their hand or deck for every 500 attack monster attack that monster had on the field. And then if you tribute a 2,000 more attack to activate this card, you look at your opponent's hand, and then for the 3 turns that is there, you're destroying all monsters that all monsters among them. So like, it's crazy. Like, it doesn't matter. It does not meet an attack requirement. It just destroys all monsters there. And then once those cards that are destroyed and they hit the graveyard, your opponent can't activate their effect that same turn that they went there. So this actually hurt the Blue Eyes at one point, because you send the stones and they can't activate stone at the end phase. So it's a sleeper card. I side deck it because there's a lot of things you don't want to give your opponent to do. But I don't know, I may main deck it one day, but so far so good. I like it side. And then one Dark Light, that's a sleeper card as well, because you contribute, you know, it's funny, it's only meeting as a requirement of 1,500 or more attack, and you can destroy on special summons that turn. So like once you, it's a think of it like another Torrential. So you can actually just, if Duke is at 1,500 or more, that's your target. Or Arima, that's your target. If you have Lilith that has the 2,000 attack and not the 1,000 attack, that's your requirements. Or even Diabolos, that is all your requirement. Like, that's all you're meeting, 1,500 or more. This alone is 1,700. That can just wipe out everything for you. And then you get in Diabolos if he's in the hand or graveyard. So that's why I'm playing one Dark Light. I like it so far. It's a board wipe. So that's my side deck, guys, and that's pretty much everything that I have for you guys. So guys, thank you again for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Hit that let's try to hit 900 subscribers. I'm almost there, thanks to you guys. I really appreciate that. And let's at least get at least 100 likes on this video. So guys, thank you again. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Later. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Now, if you guys are a big fan of Diabolos and the Lair of Darkness structure deck, let's really get into depth with this. Diabolos is an issue in this format simply because you can't target him with card effects, and he can't get kaiju. So if your opponent is trying to side deck kaijus on this, they may want to think twice about that. Other than that, they contribute anything else other than Diabolos. Now, there's so much things that you can use in this deck, not only because that they're dark, but also because there's so many tribute cards out there that you can use. For an example, Virus Cannon. Virus Cannon is a trap card that specifically says you tribute amount of monsters on your board, and your opponent has to send spell cards from their deck to the grave equal to the amount of monsters that you tributed. Now, Lair of Darkness says tribute your opponent's monsters such as like it was your own monsters. So you can actually activate Virus Cannon. Let's say your opponent has 3 monsters. You're tributing 3 monsters. They're getting rid of 3 spells out their deck. So you just clear the board and clear the deck. That's pretty broken. And it can get quite annoying, guys. What else we have? We have, what's that monster effect? That monster. I forgot his name. He's similar to like Thunder King. Basically, if your opponent activates monster effect, you tribute it, negate and destroy it. Something Caliber, I think it was. I'll have it right here for you guys. But he's a dark monster, a 19 hitter. He tributes to negate an effect, and then you can summon Diabolos right after that. So you're clearing a monster, you're summoning a monster. You can't go wrong with this deck. This deck has a lot of support. Now, there's one thing I do want to try out in this deck, and that's Light and Darkness Dragon, aka Lad, if you guys are familiar with his name like that. Lad, to me personally, would be a good thing in this deck. Not only if you're playing the trade-in version, you know he's trade-in bait. Also, this deck generates a lot of tokens. Not only through the through Lair, but also you have Steam Cloak, who generates a token. You can tribute these tokens and summon Lad. You're forcing your opponent to activate stuff and they're negating, or you're forcing them to just end their turn because they don't want to lose their resources. And yeah, the moment they get through Lad, it's not bad, because Lad will blow up your board, fine, whatever, but you're getting a monster out of it. Most likely you're going to bring back Diabolos. You can't go wrong with something like that. This is so many things that I have ideas on to just test out, and I will be testing this out and showing you guys these profiles on it, just to see how the deck works. This deck has so much support, especially that is a dark archetype. There's so much cards out there that support dark, and there's so many cards out there that support tribute. So those are my little ideas for you guys, and if you guys do like them, give them a try. Let me know in the comment box below what you guys think about it. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see y'all at the next video. Later.